Okay,
We're almost
shall we
like
are live now?
cute. All
So,
right, live.
okay, everyone. Good afternoon on this Saturday. Welcome back to Design Up Close Open Review session. So today for this session, we are going to discuss about material and sustainability. So this Design Up Close itself is a program that is presented by Museum Macan and BWI, a new program series dedicated to the practice and theory of design. Creating links between global designers and local design issues, the program consists of a regular keynote lecture paired with a mentoring and open review program. This program is supported by Himpunan Desainer Interior Indonesia or HDII and Aliansi Desainer Produk Industri Indonesia ADPII. This program is also powered by Cisco. For this current theme, the material and sustainability, we know that Scandinavian design culture that is practiced across the Nordic countries focuses on timeless design. Different with the situation in Indonesia, despite being blessed with resources that allows a broad range of material options, yet is still facing exploitation of natural and human resources. Unknown to us, the fast, easy, and cheap consumerism is feeding fast furniture cycle in Indonesia, distancing the designer and business owners even further away from sustainability. How do designers introduce and practice mindful design to maintain the chain of sustainability? What is the role of empathy and well-being in managing our current resources? So for this mentoring session, we have our mentors from Domicilium Studio. So Domicilium Studio is an Indonesia-based interior design firm with a wide range of expertise in custom residential, hospitality, and commercial projects. Serving as the principal of interior designs, Ms. Santi Aloysius has been an award-winning professional interior designer for over a decade. Some of her notable projects are the USA Pavilion for World Expo in Japan, the residence of superstar Jennifer Lopez in Long Island, New York, USA, and the first design hotel in Indonesia, Kosanda Hotel. Mr. Humphrey Teja, Principal of Architecture of Domicilium Studio PLC, earned a professional bachelor's degree in architecture from Illinois Institute of Technology in Chicago. He worked for a couple of local commercial and residential development firms, as well as doing corporate interior and hospitality work in Chicago before returning home to co-found Domicilium Studio in Jakarta in 2009. So, Ms. Santi and Mr. Humphrey, would you like to give an opening remark to our audience?
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. So, thank you for allowing us to participate in this little talk or little. What me and Santi wanted to do is basically what Museum Macang had envisioned of basically like trying to put the sustainability closer to consumers as well as like producers and manufacturers. So we want to make people aware of this movement that's going on right now, because there's a lot of things that's they always say that Indonesia is full of resources, but at some point in time we will actually deplete our resources. So we want to challenge some of this our mentees to actually think about like how their everyday product could be used in a way that's a bit more sustainable. Santi, do you want anything else to add?
Santi, you haven't unmute.
Sorry. Okay. Well, what I was saying was, it's been a very interesting and it's very quite interesting and rewarding experience for the past 3 days mentoring all of you. It's been quite eye-opening as well, and we learn also from each other for the past 3 days. And this is a really good time for us from the creative industry to really stop and think about what we need to do as a creative to have a better solution for environmentally friendly designs. And that's why we were actually we were introducing the cradle to cradle model to the young designers here, the mentees, so they can actually we hope that they can apply that to their everyday life and also to their work in the future. That's it.
Yeah. So I guess we realized that this is such a big topic for us to be talking all and compress everything into a few days. But what we hope to get out of this is basically challenging all the mindset for all these young designers and potential designers to look when they're designing or look when they're purchasing to be considerable of the environment.
Agreed.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Santi and Mr. Humphrey. Now I would like to introduce our special reviewer from Montana Furniture. So our special reviewer for today is Mr. Jonathan Lee. He is the Director of Asia Pacific Region for Montana Furniture. Mr. Jonathan is an experienced business professional with demonstrated history of working in the design and infrastructure industry, in luxury designers furniture, and architectural lighting, covering Asia Pacific since 1993. He specialized in commercializing of technological design products. He is skilled in market entry and expansion strategies and channel partnership development and management. A P&L leader in PE-backed companies with general management, business development, and operational experience. He too had deep understanding of the diversity in Asia-Pacific market and their business heterogeneity. So, Mr. Jonathan, would you like to give an opening remark for our audience today?
Thank you for having me here. It's really a very happy day for me. I very quickly mentioned that I come from a Danish company, Montana. It's a rather old company. Since 1970s, the company exists. And it is a company that I felt very proud to serve because they are very focused on sustainability and environmental protection. So I'm happy to share some of our perspective today with the mentees and the audience. As mentioned just now, for 25 years, I have the opportunity to travel and work with various designers. Example, Øyvind Slato, who designed for B&O, Jakob Wagner, and also very honored to have a chance to work with Oki Sato Nando, just to name a few. My role is to deliver and commercialize their design and leading them and their product into the Asia Pacific market. So my review today will probably come from an angle or from the aspect of commercializable of the design. So I look forward to listen to all the mentees. And also lastly, I really like the title, Material and Sustainability. Material, to me, addresses the starting point, and sustainability addresses the process, the functionality, and the longevity of the design product. So the topic allows us to think about the less we throw away, the better it is, and the more sustainable it can be. So let us start this session by thinking about against throwawaysm. Right? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jonathan. Also here with us is Bun Naila Jatnika from Himpunan Desainer Interior Indonesia. Unfortunately, reviewer from ADPI couldn't join us for today. So I would like to introduce you everyone to our mentees for today. We have 8 mentees that have gone through 3 days of mentoring sessions with our mentors. And then without further ado, I will start with our first mentee, Aisyah Andamari. Aisyah, please unmute and present.
Hi everyone, good afternoon and good morning to all of you. I'm Aisyah, I live in Jakarta. I've worked with Abodai Architect for years, and starting this year I'm on my own and decided to be more involved in the collective I'm currently in, focusing on upcycling daily plastic waste. Is it only the introduction or I'm also presenting?
You're presenting as well.
Oh, presenting as well. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Let's begin with questioning our furniture consumption habit. From the day we were born to today, how many furniture do we own that is ended up not being used anymore? What did we do? What or have done with it? Did we throw it away, donate it, use it? Did we even know where it go? Did it get recycled or ended up in landfills? Are we part of those tons and tons of waste? Well, I do believe we care about the environment. I do believe we care about the material used in production and where or how these materials are sourced and disposed. So what actually went wrong? Okay, next slide. Next slide, please. Yes. So, okay. My background is in architecture. And yes, I do know that the amount of wood waste from construction and from interior, from product designs are a lot. It's one of the biggest in the world. And on the other hand, there is a never-ending consumption of furniture and wood. So how do we address it? We need to address this wood waste problem and its stream, preventing it to end up in landfills, while also meet the never-ending need and utilization of furniture. So how? Well, we're turning this wood waste into furniture that is not only sensible to environment, but also our space, our ground needs, and the way we utilize furniture. Well, I do know there's a lot of, it's been exercised. It's not something new that we're recycling wood waste into furniture, but there's also missing link here where the design today predominantly not sensible to our growing needs and the way we utilize furniture. So we're always changing and buying and purchasing new furniture in every occasion and every time we need to move, every time our space growing. So with that strategy and the need and the problem, I wish that my design can adapt this design of this furniture can adapt to various needs and spaces that constantly transform and grows. And of course, produce sensibly, utilize responsibly, and hopefully decay peacefully. Okay. Next slide. Well, my case study is not a single furniture, but multiple furniture that can multiple furniture get into one and have a multi-purpose and growing and transforming according to the users. In the context of from cradle to cradle, this is from API program. I'm focusing on a lot of technicality and design here of how wood scrap and wood waste that have particular dimension and limitation can be made into panels and parts that can be assembly like a Lego. So when you purchase some part and then your needs growing, you can only purchasing just another part, not the whole furniture. So during this 3 days workshop, this is the model that I've managed to come up with. Okay. Next slide, please. Yeah. And from this module, I try to be sensible, not just, I try to make my design sensible, not just in terms of the material, but the space and the anthropometric of human. So the first basic shape is the stool. It's a combination from the module A and the module B. And then when you want to have, you say you're a student and you need a short table to study, and you can sit on the floor. You can just purchase the F panel, and then it become a coffee table. And when you want to have a proper 75 centimeter height desk or table, you can purchase this model without purchasing the previous A and previous B model, and you can have your desk. And then you can have yourself by purchasing the C, by adding the C, the G, the H, and the I, without buying or purchasing the B model. With this strategy, I hope this furniture can adapt to various needs and spaces that constantly transform and grow without glue, without nails, without fasteners or screw to assemble. So our other problem when dealing with wood waste are the nails. It's such a, excuse me, pain in the ass. But so I try to make a furniture that can be assembled without glue that is toxic and without nail or fastener. So we're using basic joineries here. Next slide, please. This is also another possibility of a 90 centimeter height table for kitchen island or bar table, just by adding the modules. And then also the variation of the bookshelf. You can put hanger in it and make it and hang clothes, and probably the potential and possibility you can put this in retail as well. So this is on the right side. This is the simple basic joineries for the stool. As you can see, I don't use nails or screw, just simple joineries. Next slide. Next slide, please. Yeah. So so there's this question: purchasing new furniture every time our need is changing versus a furniture that grows and transforms with you. I'm in the context of about cradle to cradle. The design try to be sensible of that situation, because I've seen a lot of product and furniture that are that claim to be sustainably and environmentally responsible, but actually the assessment of real sustainability during productions nowadays becomes more and more difficult. So what I'm trying to do is be more sensible also with the space, because with the growing furniture like this, we don't have to purchasing the new furniture every now and then, and we just need to adding some parts and growing. And I think that is more responsible. That side can be also more responsible, and not only the responsibility part, not only about the materiality but also about the utilization of space, and the function. Okay, I think that is my final statement.
Okay, thank you very much, Aisha.
Thank you for your time. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nervous here.
It's okay, everyone is nervous. Okay, maybe first I'd like to invite Mr. Jonathan to give a comment or feedback or review.
Yeah, thank you. And what a way to start off this event. It's such a clever and intelligent design.
Oh, thank you.
I have to say that this design is from the functional aspect is definitely captivating. Is one concept evolving into multifunctional application, and I think this is really clever. Also, the aspect, I believe that I shall probably will also think that this is something that is quite easy to flat pack it and store away and keep it in the storeroom, and eventually you can still take it out and examine them in the way you like it and reuse them. So that goes very well with some of the philosophy like us. What we have, we try not to throw away things. So from that aspect of the sustainability, I'm really very delighted to see your consideration. And also something that I'm not so sure. In your perspective, the comfort level, that's the first thing. In your consideration, how do you actually address the comfort level? I'm not so sure the stool that you have, is it on three legs or is it on two or four? I
It's
can't. Yeah, could you?
three legs.
It's on three legs, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So if you have a table and you're going to have a working table, your consideration for comfort level is something that I probably would want to address further. And then the second aspect that I felt that this could be quite an exciting product where if we were to consider it to use even wider application where we could put children into play, and then we could consider to make it much more captivating in terms of more variation aesthetically. Somehow, from the aesthetical aspect, it looks a little bit bland. If you put this in an environment, it's purely a wood environment, looks rather bland to me. And I would think that if we could improve a little bit more on the aesthetical value, that will certainly be something that we can add on as a value other than the multifunctional value. And of course, we have to address a little bit of comfort value. So yeah, and my comment goes as far as this. And thank you for such a good start.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jonathan Lee. Actually, my initial idea and my inspiration comes from Lego. By making these models, the further development of this product can be endless. We can in fact we can create other models with more aesthetically pleasing and design. So while also keep the old models, and when the old models not relevant, we can discontinue. But it's really a growing product. It's a really a growing furniture. So thank you for your comment on it.
Yeah, amazing. I must say this is a very well thought of design. The product I think is fascinating. Certainly, if you probably add on a couple of drawers on the table where you increase the value of the functionality and address a little bit of aesthetic value, you build on more value into it, and then of course the ability to being stowed away will allow people to keep it for a while and continue to use it and take it out and use it. Even they shift house, they could continue to reuse it. So that is something good for the environment, also for the sustainability factor. So I'm really glad that you're able to put up this concept.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Jonathan. Now I'd like to invite Ibu Naila. Would you like to give any comment?
Hi, Aisha.
Hi.
My comment is a bit the same as Jonathan. It's more for me. It's ergonomics. How, like for instance, for your table, your desk, if it's something like a working desk, then you need space for your legs and feet. So I was more looking at those ergonomics function. A bit of curving at the end will be also nice, so that it doesn't make too straight. And also maybe a mix of and match of different material or maybe different color will be also great for your design, so that it won't be like one color only, but like there is some accent here and there. Yeah, my main concern is about the ergonomics for me. Just make sure that everything is based on function and on human dimension. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bu Naila. Miss Santi or Mr. Humphrey, would you like to add?
I'm quite pleased with this development. Very good job, Aisha.
Thank you.
Especially doing this only within 3-4 days.
2 days.
Thinking. 3 days. Very, very quick thinking. Designing the models. I think I don't know if you forgot to mention. Maybe you forgot to mention, but how you try to fit to use every single scrap from one piece of board, like 120 by 240 centimeter board.
Yeah, that was my initial design, but then when I decided to use when I decided to use wood waste, I realized that wood waste don't come with the one. Yeah, they come with like 8 centimeter to 10 centimeter height, and with a 1 meter. Yeah, so that part I would love to get back to that, but for one, I didn't use the panel, the no waste. That would be more contextual for industry, I think. When we're dealing with the standardized panel, but we dealing with the wood waste panel, I think the standardized you can
and also I agree with the comments of Jonathan and Bunaila. I mean, this could be a really good further development where you added more different colors, treatments or finishes. or maybe also think about you already thought about the ergonomic a little bit on the height of the tables and the chairs, but it could be studied further as well. And also one thing that I was looking at here, those cutouts, that's also a waste. What can you do with them? That could be another like episode somewhat of like what can you do for the next step. So I see so many potential in this to be done as well for further development. Good job.
Thank you.
Good job.
It was a really fun workshop.
Yeah, but I really appreciate that you're coming in on this from actually an architect's kind of point of view.
Yeah.
But probably you need to develop it a little bit further to make it a bit more aesthetically pleasing. So something that's a bit more maybe timeless in a way. But it's a good start, I think. It's a very good start.
Mm-mm. Very potential.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Santi and Mr. Humphrey. So we'll go to our next mentee, Amalia Yova Ardina. Mbak Yova, you can. Yova, are you okay?
Yes.
Okay, can
Wait.
you turn on the video as well so we can. Yova, are you okay? Okay, great. Okay, please start.
Hi everyone. My name is Amalia Yova, but you can call me Yova. I'm from Institut Teknologi Bandung. Next slide, please. I choose sandal for my project for this class because sandal or slipper or flip-flops is the most often used footwear by Indonesian. Also, it became the most quickly discarded product. Sandal occupies the largest production, number 2 in Indonesia, and also use 6% of anorganic waste in Indonesia after plastic bags and styrofoam. Next. And the study case is sandal is the common use product at my home because sandal is often used, often purchased, and fast to discarded because the reason the paints already faded and the colors become dull and there was uneven pads. Next slide. And actually, when the sandal die or reach the end of its lifespan, a sandal could be recycled as a DIY fashion sandal, but with that visual aesthetic, and there is industry that recycled sandal became a toys. The name is Ocean Soul, and sandal could be a door stopper. This just for illustration. Sometimes Indonesian put sandals in the door, so the door is not to open and mengganggu gitu. So it needs to be redesigned, the form, the material, and the process after the product reach the end of lifespan. Next slide. So this is the concept for my redesign. So I choose modular shape and with natural or recycled material, terus easy to use, simple design, and to using a traditional way, and still use the sandal classic design, like sandal jepit design that common use in Indonesia. Next. And these the sketches I made for my redesign concept. I made with some modular and easy to knock down each part, the sole and the straps. Next slide. And this is the material concept. I choose some sustainable material. I think the first material is mycelium. I took it from Mycotech that located in Bandung. The second material is recyclable rubber from Pijak Bumi. They use it for their shoe product. And then natural rubber and tires, unused tires, and polyurethane material. Next slide, please. And this material comparison. Eva sponge is the most common used material for Indonesian sandal. The advantage of this material is Eva sponge have a cheap price, it's lightweight and have various color. But the disadvantage is easy to worn out and the material can be recycled. And I choose natural rubber for my sandal concept. The advantage of this material is I put I mix the advantage and disadvantage on my slide. The advantage, I mean, it's durable, easy recycle. It has a medium weight. The material can be softened if it's worn continuously. But the disadvantage of this material is quite expensive and has a limited color. Next slide. And these are vinyl sketches for my concept and the material plan. I choose the concept of the first concept is the strap is easy to slip to the sole, but I got a feedback from last class also how to make the sandals look more secure. Next slide, please. And this is the final design for my concept. I use the classic flip-flop style with a secure model to wear the sandals. The strap could be easy knocked down from the store. And then the secure style is the sandal could be tied on your foot. Next slide. And then this is the cradle-to-cradle implementation. Once the product has the end of a lifespan of the consumer is have their sandal is broke, they can give back to the manufacturer, so they can repair or recycle the sandal to be a new one, and they could give back to the consumer. So the sandal not to throw away to the landfill. Next. Applying the manufacturing plan to sandal production can reduce the unweighted waste because the system can prolong the sandal lifespan. So people have the choice to repair the sandals, not just to throw to the landfill. This is a presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Yofa. Okay, again, we'll start with Mr. Jonathan.
Well, thank you so much, Yova, and I felt that this is a very thoughtful design from the very beginning. From the very beginning of your presentation, you already begin to introduce recycled product, talking about recycling for toys or door stopper, and that start off your thought about the sanders. I think from my perspective and all my years of work, the product that we work on, unfortunately, we actually work on its longevity and how could we make it even more sustainability, where we could pass it on from one generation to the next. However, standards, in my opinion, it's correct to think from your perspective is that there is a life to the sanders. So, and your thoughts from the beginning is to use material appropriately that is recyclable, and knowing that there may come a time where you still need to, due to wear and tear, eventually, the usage of it, whether the is it because of the wearing of it very often, or be it environmental impact on the sanders that cause it to deteriorate over time. Eventually, the lifespan will come to an end. You already consider your these sanders from the beginning to make it recyclable and using material that's easy to recycle, which I felt is very, very thoughtful. I think the organization part and how it's operated, my thought straight away linked to the winning part of this product that you design has a very strong angle of sustainability, because you actually can recycle all that you are putting into the earth, and you actually can return it back and reuse them again in some way somehow. And you're prolonging the lifespan of the sanders is also a good thought, but still, I think there is going to be a lifespan to it. So I would say that to make it even better, and the winning formula for this design is to attack it from the design value. You have to have a very strong design value of your senders, if I may suggest. Have a very strong character, have a strong personality, or it could be even a very cultured, the Indonesian cultured approach to that to design a senders, and then that will enhance the design value aspect of it. That would put it much more efficient into the marketplace, where people can actually use this sender in a comfortable way, and knowing that eventually these senders can be recycled in a very sensible way. So this is my proposal and a little assessment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jonathan. I'd like to invite Gunaila.
I was intrigued about your sandals. I was like, yeah, do something about those sandals. We're always using every time in the office, at home. But I was so aiming that you could do something with the old sandals. But you put your plus and minus, so that you're saying that if we use the normal material that is not recyclable, and you're aiming to do it with rubber, right? So you're to make it more recyclable. So I was aiming for you to do something from the existing, from all the sandals that we have right now. If it's rubber, the cost, the pricing of those sandals, this is something that I just want to know. How much is the normal sandal? How much is the rubber, the new sandals? Because people who buy those sandals are the common people, unless it's Haiwanas, yeah. Kalau Haiwanas, it's quite expensive. But I was looking through website and looking what is the material that they're using, but it doesn't say what material they're using also. So for me, it's like, yes, it's recyclable, but regarding the price and people who's going to buy it, is it going to be marketing wise to do it or not? So this is just my comment. And then again, as Jonathan was saying, is that maybe for the material, for the untuk ikatannya ya, for all those material, you need to think about it because it's going to be a bit akan sakit if it's too thin. The cords that you're going to use it, maybe harusnya lebih pita, lebih pipih gitu. So, but for me, it's more like if you're starting to do cradle to cradle, just also think it's not about cradle to cradle again, but also what is the product, who is going to buy it, and the cost and so on. Just think also about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Bu Naila.
Thank you.
Mr. Humphrey, would you like to add?
Yofa, could you go back to the slide where you were talking about the materials? What kind of materials you're thinking about using?
Boleh tahu slide-nya enggak?
Okay, sebentar ya. Please wait for a while.
Slide-nya tolong mundur ke yang bagian material tadi.
The one with Eva sponge and the leather.
No, not this one. The one with Eva sponge. Okay. Are you thinking about using natural rubber, or what are you thinking to use for the material? I think I kind of missed that part.
I should answer with English or Indonesian.
English?
I do some research for the sustainable sandal in the internet. So there is one producer make a eco sandal made from natural rubber. They state if natural rubber actually a bit hard material, but if it's used continuously, the rubber become soften within a time, like that.
Okay.
So I thought natural rubber could be used for my sandal concept.
Okay. What kind of like style are you trying to show? A slide. You have the sketches of your other sandals. Next.
Next. Please.
Yeah. Okay. What material are you trying to use for the laces?
For the laces, I still confused which material I will use between natural rubber or polyurethane material, because polyurethane have a potential to be applying in this concept, because PU is easy recyclable too, and the waste wasn't too harsh for the environment.
Okay, Humphrey.
So, Yofa, I think you're missing the point. I think what Jonathan said is right. So if you're gonna start selling these sandals as something that's a bit more environmental, something that's more sustainable, I mean, it has a prolonged life of like using the sandals. What you might have to think is like, how are you going to appeal to all these people? It's not going to look like the swallow slippers that everybody gets. It needs to have a value that people will say, hey, I'm going to buy this because it looks nice. And not only that, on the side, I'm actually helping to save the world. I think that's what you're missing here. I actually really like the first sketch that you did. It's not the sketch that you did, but it's actually the traditional aspect. of the slippers, which is about 2 or 3 slides before this. And I really like thinking using a cultural slippers like Japanese slippers, and then introducing it into this kind of modern, I guess, sandals. I think you should look into that as how they created, how to link between the rubber soles as well as the PU strap. I think that will work better for you, because right now it just looks like a swallow slipper.
Yeah, I was hoping actually today to see more developments on the design, on like what kind of style that are you going to propose, and the way the material itself can be pretty much not only natural rubber, can be something else, right? Like you were actually mentioning it, mycelium and other kinds of rubber, or a new kind of natural synthetic that is biodegradable. I was hoping to hear more of that and how to make this sandal to look more sexier in design, as in to be more like what Ibu said, to be more attractive to the market. So people would like to switch to your design instead of just the regular Havaianas or other brands. So what is it? I mean, yeah, I was hoping to see more of those kind of development.
Yeah, I mean, the cultural aspect is quite a nice thing for you to look at. For example, you see the Japanese, right? I mean, they go enjoy the cherry blossom. They're wearing their traditional Japanese outfit, and of course, they're wearing that what do you call bakyak yang kayu itu ya,
Geta.
geta. So I mean, it's something that people actually treasure. So maybe you should look into that. It's like, if you want to make it modern, make it very different than what traditional slipper is. Otherwise, make it fashionable. Otherwise, you can take a look at the culture again. What history brings out. Everything has been designed under the sun. So I'm sure you can pick something that's more interesting looking rather than just a plain slipper like this. Mycelium is actually a really interesting product.
Mycelium could be something that actually
Yeah.
they're developing a better looking mycelium and thicker, and yeah, there's always been development in that kind of material, more sustainable material.
Okay.
Thank you.
If I may just jump in for a couple more minutes on this, I really like Yuval's idea that you have identified one common problem. I think not only in Indonesia, but it's everywhere around the region also, that people actually have the sandals, and once it's wear out, people just discard it one side, and there are plenty of these waste that's going around. So of course the selection of the appropriate rubber is important. That you were talking about durability, talking about recyclability, that is one consideration. But again, if you were to want to look at the prospect of being able to put this design into use, people actually consume it, people actually use it, just by the element of sustainability, recyclability, durability, it's just not enough. I think what we are trying to drive to you here to add a little bit more dimension of the design part of it, to increase the design value so that you could still achieve a certain price level with the design value. So either you approach it from a very futuristic perspective, some design that people cannot think of, or you move it towards the classic cultural aspect of it. So people consume your product, people use your product because of the attachment of the cultural values there. Or even people like me from foreign land who comes and we want to buy something from you that relates to your culture, where we can actually bring back and enjoy it. So that is two part of it, two part of the design value to start you thinking, of course, if you would like to work on this. But I would encourage you to work on this is because certainly it is a problem. The problem needs to be solved, that people discard themselves everywhere. I'm one of those guilty one.
I think we all are.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Humphrey, Ms. Santi, and Mr. Johnson for the additional review. Okay, thank you, Yova.
Yes, thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you, Yofa.
We'll go to our next mentee, Annette Firmawan Tanghegar. Annette. Unmute your audio first. Okay. Please.
Okay. Good afternoon, dear mentees, host or mentors, Ms. Santi and Mr. Humphrey, and our special reviewer today, Mr. Jonathan and Mrs. Naila. I'm Annette from Surabaya. I recently started my own small interior design studio last year, and so with joining discussions or this mentoring class, I hope to expand my knowledge on material and sustainability. So hopefully I can always learn to be a better and responsible designer. Next slide, please. So I'm going to present my idea in this open review session about material and sustainability. We're told to find a commonly used product at our home. So I picked tableware as my product to explore how to rethink or redesign it to be more responsible to the environment. These are the pictures of my tableware at home. As you can see, my tableware mostly are made from ceramic. Next slide, please. The problem with ceramic tableware is there's a big possibility for them to get damaged or broken in our daily use. Even when I was little, my mom used to make me use the plastic or rubber plates so she can save her precious ceramic tableware. Other option available is a single-use tableware and cutleries. They often available from plastic and styrofoam material to cut out budget and make them cheaper so we can afford to buy them frequently. But this kind of material are not environmentally friendly at all. There are tons of single-use tableware waste floating around in the ocean and damaging our whole ecosystem. So I can say that using single-use tableware is also not a viable solution to our concerning tableware waste. In brief, all this tableware waste, both ceramic and plastic material, always end up piling in. Next slide, please. Yeah, to respond to this case is, of course, to alternate into biodegradable tableware. But then I think of a twist. What if we can wear our tableware? Wouldn't it be fun if not only our tableware is eco-friendly, but it can also be worn? Next slide, please. So the tableware was born from that thought. Yep, you're not reading it wrong. It is tableware. The idea is to combining tableware with clothes or accessories we usually wear on our bodies. Wear is a term we usually use in speaking of apparel. Clothing and accessories can be our channel to express ourselves as who we are, not only a primary need of protection. Therefore, wear is closely related to how we are using something, since it speaks so much about ourselves. Next slide, please. For the material selection, I begin with something that is closely related to me, since I can know for sure its availability and I can explore more on my own. So my family owns a restaurant. There's an average of 2 25-kilogram barrels filled with organic waste from my kitchen. We sell homemade green grass jelly at our restaurant. Green grass jelly is made from squeezing the grass jelly leaf to extract the jelly essence. The leaf fiber waste often left to throw in the garbage bin. The tableware uses this grass jelly waste as its main material alongside with other organic waste from kitchen, usually fruit and vegetable peels to add color variant that I will explain later. Next slide, please. I designed a very simple tableware with basic shape to make further repurposing easier. I start with a set of plates, bowl, and a cup. The tableware is made from dried green grass jelly waste and other organic waste pressed together into a mold with additional varnish made from its own jelly liquid. The grass jelly extract liquid consistency is pretty thick and slimy. It can act as a varnish to coat the tableware and made from natural and non-toxic material. Once the varnish is dry, we can have a biodegradable tableware with natural coating so it still can hold watery food or beverages, such as soup or milk. Actually, the green grass jelly waste itself is enough to make the tableware, but I decided to add more colors to bring extra touch to the product. Here, I'm planning on using carrot waste to make orange color and orange peels to make yellow color that I will explain in the manufacture process section in the next slide. Next slide, please. From this set of tableware, I have a few recommendations about how we are going to upcycle them. The first one, we can directly upcycle the tableware into accessories such as bucket hat and earrings. We're just going to cleanse the tableware and turn them into accessories. For example, plate and bowl. We can make a bucket hat with a simple stitching or gluing with it and then let dry. Secondly, this tableware accessory will be flattened, shredded, and then woven into handbags. The earlier pressing method and coating process will add more strength to its final texture. Here I am presenting a few sketches of my accessories, but basically you can make any accessories with what you like because the material itself is pretty flexible to work with. Next slide, please. As I mentioned before, I am going to explain the making process of the tableware. The colorants are also made from organic waste. We put desired fruit or vegetable peels into the oven with low temperature but longer duration to make sure the inner parts are thoroughly dry. Then we can grind the dried peels with grinding machine or even mash it with our hands, each color in separate container. The powder coloring is ready. I think I still need to explore more about other natural colorant provided from food waste like in the picture below. Next slide, please. This is the main process of the tableware. First, we're going to start with our green grass jelly waste or the leaf fibers. Next step is crushing the fibers with grinding machine and then let it air dry under direct sunlight. Then mix the dried fiber with some jelly liquid extract until it becomes a paste with enough consistency for pressing machine. The next step is coloring. We can add the natural colorant we prepared before to add colors as we like into the molding, not into the paste. Then we can add the paste on the molding and then press it with pressing machine to remove excessive water and air that is still trapped inside the paste to create a solid tableware. Air dry the tableware under direct sunlight and make sure it's really dry before we take off the molding. Then apply the grass jelly liquid as varnish using brush and then let it dry. The last part is sterilizing with sterilizer machine so it will be safe and hygienic. Then you can have your tableware. Next slide, please. So, with this tableware concept, I can create a recommendation of how we can prolong its usage into more than one life cycle, from its main function as tableware to bucket hat and earrings until handbags. This creation and upcycling parts can last as many times as we can, not just limited according to my recommendation only. In the end, When the tableware already served its purpose, we can return them into the earth to become compost again, since it has no chemical whatsoever. Next slide, please. So lastly, for me, the importance of the tableware concept is made in such way is because our road condition is concerning. Tableware waste is one example of so many products that are damaging our environment. Yet, we still use them regularly without further considerations of the further generations. Replacing unrecyclable tableware with biodegradable alternative seems like a great chance to live a more mindful and sustainable lifestyle. Also, by adding more relevant values such as upcycling our tableware into accessories, hopefully people will find these lifestyle changes more attractive and appealing, so more people can contribute and start the change. Thank you so much for this opportunity to practice on my design thinking and knowledge. I'm surely having so much fun brainstorming this idea, and I'm looking forward for reviews or feedback. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Annette. We'll start with you, Mr. Jonathan.
Fascinating. I was really thinking that this particular concept would probably involve quite a fair bit of engineering processes. Is it possible to go back to the main processes there? I mean, the whole idea of having to recycle the waste, the one before this, there's another one, the main processes before the coloring.
After this slide, I guess, after the coloring process.
Okay, amazing. Okay, so it's an amazing thought to be able to go through this whole process by recycle all the organic waste into glass jelly leaf fiber and further processing them and into tableware. It's captivating for me for you to think of it, especially at your young age. Certainly, I have two great concerns. Firstly, of course, is this whole engineering process. So to really make this happen, I think we may have to tie up quite a fair bit of this loose end in this whole engineering process to truly see that we're going to have a tableware that is going to be safe for the consumer to use them. Firstly, that's the safety aspect. The second safety aspect also, I'm looking at the usability of the natural color. Would that, through the engineering process, somehow contribute to decolorization over a certain period of usage? So just from these two engineering aspects, I raised a little bit of concern for me in making this possible. So if I were to look at putting this into a reality, I would probably deep dive a little bit deeper into the technical process of this. Then the second question I had in my mind is that you are taking the organic waste and eventually convert them into tableware, and then from tableware to ware. Would that be a more direct process possible to be directly from organic waste to a ware instead of going through a tableware then a ware? So you have a so-called a ware, a clothing collection, be it bucket, be it earring, be it accessories, that is really directly from your jelly waste concept and the whole process, so that it may pose less safety concern because earrings, if you some problem, you may just really recycle them again or throw them away. But when you are putting it on a plate and people have to eat from it, so that is something that raised a little bit of my concern. And second thing, maybe I'll just share with you a little bit what I've seen in the industry, especially the tableware industry. I had an opportunity to be recruited to join a company that produce tableware. but I love what I'm doing so much, so I didn't reject them. But I just want to share with you what is my take when I was researching this industry is that people are moving a lot more away from throwing away the tableware. So people are moving a lot more back into heritage, back into history, in old Japanese way, in the old Chinese way, where even in the European way that they actually have a tableware that is very well built, that's very well designed, that actually people keep them. And then this value of this tableware actually increases over time. So you can see in history and in the Chinese heritage or be it in Japanese heritage, the older the tableware is, the more valuable it is become. It's like
Yeah.
collecting antique actually. So you can see that this industry has pretty much, I would say that the future that I see in this industry is that they are driving more towards longevity. People actually build something to keep it, to pass it down, and to pass it down again. And then eventually, this tableware becomes more and more and more expensive. So then timelessness comes into play. Then how could you actually build something that is durable, that is less likely to break over such a long generational use? It probably be something that I would see in this industry. So for the organic waste into a tableware, I think you address one part of the issue, but I think I would look at from a designer perspective that you also have to extend your thoughts process beyond the product itself to understand where the industry is heading, how the industry is moving, and does that eventually give you some longevity of this product usage and putting it into the consumer hand. So I hope my little mention could open up your thoughts a little more. Thank you.
Thank you. For your first question, I already have something in my mind about all the industrial process included in the making of the tableware I designed. I also think that maybe we can produce them in home industry scale, so not a big industrial scale, with a paper mache method, because the consistency of the jelly waste fiber is slimy and a little thick, so it can act as a pulp. So it is possible for us to make this tableware with our hands in small scale. But I only presented the manufacture for industrial scale because the brief told me to think about how you manufactured. So I did not inserted the personal handmade process. But I also think of that before I made this presentation. And then your second input was it what is it again?
The safety aspect of it, the safety,
Oh yeah.
the user, because you have air drying, demolding, eventually vernishing, sterilizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I honestly I also did a little survey with my family. Would you wear your tableware? And then they said it's gross, because that's why I think it would be wise if we use them as tableware first in their first life cycle, and then we recycle them into accessories. But the process here is not, it's linear. So after you turn it into accessories, you should not use it as tableware again unless it is processed with sterilizing, etc. My thought, because I also wouldn't want to use my accessories or my hat to eat my soup. And input from you was the I'm sorry, what was your third input?
To consider bypassing the tableware concept. That means directly
Oh
from
yeah,
those
to
30
pass
days.
from generation to generation.
Yeah.
Thank you for that input. It really opened up my mind.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
Great.
Jonathan. We'll go to Bu Naila. Before this, I would like to remind everyone that we still have 5 mentees, and it's been 1.5 hour. So maybe we can make it a bit quicker. Thank you. Okay, Bu Naila. Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay. Hi, Annette.
Hi.
So I like your thinking. I was also, I like also your presentation. It was well done. It has, it's interesting. You put the design itself was also thought about. So, but the process of the 2 cycle, I know that the workshop is about cradle to cradle, but sometimes that when it's cradle to cradle, is it done by the customer or is it done by someone else? Because sometimes when we buy a tableware, it's not me who's going to use it as an accessories. So should I give it back to you and for you to do it? So this is something that sometimes is like cradle to cradle, but you need to know what is the steps, yes, as Jonathan said, that you can do like a series of accessories and also a series of tableware at the same time. But then again, the material is also recycled, right? It's natural, so you don't have to worry about it. But sometimes when you say, well, from one cycle to another cycle, it's a question. Is it the customer or do we go back to you and give it back to you? So so you have to think about it, the cyclus of your product itself.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Naila.
Thank you, Bu Naila. Okay, Ms. Santi or Mas Henry?
Hi, Annette.
Hi.
Hi. It has changed completely over the few days, yeah? So, I mean, just a bit of Annette's background. She used to work with one of our friends at the ceramic industry. She was interning there for, how long were you interning there for?
3 months.
3 months, yeah. So I guess she got a bit familiar with some of the processes of the making of the ceramics and everything else. But what I like to see from here, what I like that I saw from here is that something that probably could replace, say, styrofoam board or styrofoam dishes. I think a lot of people are replacing that instead of using styrofoam or like cups and everything. They're looking at like natural resources. One of the things that we saw when we went to Europe is like they're starting to use like banana leaves into like a disposable cutlery and disposable plates and bowls, which was really, really good because after that it just goes back to the soil and it's still fine. I think you're going somewhere, and I think if you take it further, it could be more interesting. But I think that aspect of like tableware, I think what Jonathan said is probably like, you pass down real ceramics because they have a really long life. But I think you should approach this as more of like a commercial use where it's used in like, takeaways and stuff like that, instead of like something that's prolonged that you kept at home like for a really long time. Then after that, when it's broken, it's changed into something else.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Tisan, ada?
Yeah, the mosque is calling to pray, so the background has that. Sorry, yeah, but
It's okay.
that's what I was thinking too when I saw your presentation. It changed like day and night since last night. She's still like doing some like asking us things in mock strokes. Hurry up, do something about it. And she came out with this, which is we're proud of you. Overnight, it's changing a lot. And like what Humphrey said, it could be a really nice option for to replace takeout containers, and also because those are like one of the main problems. Also, the like the coffee containers from takeout, and like for like what we saw in Europe, they are starting to use many different kind of materials, like even like from algae, like from agar material, or dried leaf, banana leaf, and what else? So many different more environmentally friendly and sustainable resources material. This apparently is a very tropical plant that we have plenty here, that maybe we can use to replace all of these like takeout containers. Yeah,
I
it
mean,
could
like
be.
we have used cassava as well for plastic
Right,
bags,
they use
right?
cassava as well. Right,
Yeah.
they already have it out there, but I'm not sure about grass jelly, because maybe the grass jelly has longer fibers. Maybe it could actually, I don't know. There's a potential, and then you have to do a lot of like laboratorium tests for this, and
Experimenting.
there's a I can see potential, totally. Yeah, maybe you can mix it with the egg whites, the other the other
Spoiler alert!
idea
Spoiler
with
alert!
egg whites and the eggshells. I don't know. Maybe you guys can collaborate. Yeah. Okay. Good job.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Thanks,
Mr.
Annette.
Henry, Miss Santi. That's a little bit of spoiler. Okay, then we'll go to our next mentee, Friska Amalia. Mbak Friska.
Halo Mbak, makasih. Okay, good afternoon everyone. My name is Friska Amalia. You can call me Friska. I am an interior design freelancer, special for retail design, 3D modeling, and 3D rendering, as well as a young lecturer at Bina Nusantara University Bandung. First of all, I want to thank Monsieur Machan and PWI Furniture for giving me the opportunity to take part in the third Design Up Close program. This time, I will present about the design of furniture with the concept of cradle to cradle that is concerned about sustainability and the environment also. I would like to thank Miss Santi, and Mr. Humphrey from the Museum Studio, who have become my mentors, and along with another mentees, and share their knowledge about the concept of cradle to cradle, because this was my first time learning about sustainability. And one item that I often use in my activities at home, and one of the products that are commonly used by me at home in supporting housewife activities is this one step ladder. Why does this object help me the most? That's because my cute body size is sometimes difficult to reach things that are always placed by my tall husband. It is beyond my reach sometimes. So there are some area require me to use this product to make my activities at home more effective. Next slide, please. This product is not only useful as its main function, which is a ladder, namely as one step ladder, to reach the objects that are beyond my reach, but sometimes it can use also as well as a stool, which helps me to squat or sit when cutting vegetables and fruit in the floor, even to wash something in the bathroom. Sometimes this product is also used as a place to put things on whenever my table is full. So when it is urgent to put things down, I put it on this product. Next slide, please. The cradle to cradle aspect of this product is related to the quality in which this product is made of, which is aluminum, which is a material that has high durability, has a lightweight, and also it is a material infinitely recyclable, because this material can be easily melted and recycled back into aluminum. Again, aluminum slab or plate without degrading any of its properties. This product also has a strong leg structure, Even in my office, I have used similar product that have been used for 8 years in the past office, and it hasn't been damaged until now. Even now, it's still intact. The aesthetic aspect possessed by this product is the finish, which resemble wood texture, even though it is not the real wood texture, just like a finishing, just like gluing or paint something. So it looks like an expensive material. It's like a solid wood, or the veneer, even though only aluminum with wood motif finish. Of course, in making this product, it takes the sweat of local factory workers to assemble the unit parts of this product, well, with better quality and compete with foreign products. To extend the life of this product, I always limit the load on top of this product. Even though it can hold up to 100 kilograms, I still do not put heavy items to maintain the durability of the product in my house. Next slide, please. The concept of cradle to cradle on this product is more tied to the technical cycle because this product comes from a factory. To make the concept of an upcycle on this product, there are several stages that are carried out as the life cycle of this product, including the manufacturing production process at the factory, the first step, which is then distributed for sale and used as a household item or office item according to its main function, which is one step later before. When it is broken or unused somehow, it can be dismantled into several parts, but the legs as the main structure of this product are the strongest part and has a longer life. Some parts can become technical nutrient and be used again as the main resource to produce the same product again in the manufacturing industry. Some parts can be possessed to have an upcycle process by adding another functions or media to make it has an additional value or some elevate functions. Next. To redesign this product in hope to extend the product life where it cannot be used again as one step later due to several conditions that made this product unable to support its specified maximum load anymore. There are several stages that can be used as a solution to apply the concept of cradle to cradle, such as upcycling or recycling the product to elevate its function or refurbishing and remanufacturing because the nature of the material which can be infinitely recycled, reused or repaired, providing that the parts of the product can still be replaced and or repaired. In essence, the process to extend the life of this product produce no waste and regeneration can also be done with industrial processes again. Next slide, please. The recommended redesign method for this product is to apply a module system so that it can maintain the structural pattern of this product as a complete model and can be used for several functions after disassembling the product and replacing or removing damaged parts of the product. Then add some new functions that can be adjusted to the needs of the users by adding a number of other environmentally friendly materials used by the projects that I have done before, such as MDF, blockboard, plywood, and so on and so on. Next. Before redesigning, I found some weak points that can be replaced or upgraded to extend its lifetime. After dismantling this product, I found that there are 4 parts that provide the strength of this product, including the leg that is the strongest to hold the load, the connector between the legs in the form of joint, and the connector between the head in the form of a bolt or screw. Parts that are probably damaged first are the joint and the head connector. So, in redesigning the product, the joint should be strengthened if they are going to be used as an interleg connector in order to add new functions to this product. While the legs will always be intact because of their structure and the durability, which makes them able to be used repeatedly for a long time. Next slide, please. The following details of the size of this product can be seen from two views, namely the front and side, and the front side and the side looks, along with the connector. Its height is 32 centimeters and the length is 38 centimeters and the width is 24 centimeters when the legs are fully opened. The legs will be used as it is to maintain its structural strength. Next. And the connector between the legs will be the first to be damaged. So I recommend a connector joint that is modular, has various size, and made of some metals or steel or another environment-friendly metals. Make a strong and flexible joint to be applied to several functions. Even can be adjusted for several other functions to meet the user requirements. Next slide, please. The following are alternative designs that can be made to extend the life of this product with the recommend method I have explained earlier, including, next slide please, a laptop table where I change the joint to a certain length and a module that can hold the load that can support the laptop and other items, and add some MDF or blockboard or refurbished boards from a project weights. Next slide, please. Or it can be become a credenza for TV that can be made to extend the life of this product with the recommend method I have explained earlier, including the credenza for TV where I change the joint to certain length and a module that can hold the load that can support the TV way and other items, and adding some MDF or refurbished blockboards from the project waste. Next. If it cannot be used for the previous functions, it also can be used for this light product to hold on. The next is shoe rack that can be made to extend the life this product with the recommend method I have explained earlier, including a shoe rack where I change the joint to a certain length and a module that can hold the load to a certain amount of shoes, and add some blockboard, some refurbished MDF, refurbished blockboards from my project waste. And lastly, next slide please, is a nightstand, or in bahasa nakas, that can be made to extend the life of this product also with the recommend method I have explained earlier, in which I change the joint to a certain length and module that can hold the load of table lamps, boxes, and other objects with a certain amount, and add box as a substitute for drawer, and also MDF or refurbished blockboards for the top. Okay, next slide please. To summarize, cradle-to-cradle model can be applied to one-step ladder to redesign its purpose when the product loses some of its strength to hold a load. Furthermore, it can be upcycled into several design alternatives before to further prolong its lifetime, so that the product can contribute more environment-friendly work by reducing carbon footprints from aluminum recycling process and saving more energy by redesigning instead of creating a new product from scratch. That's all from me. Personally, I would like to say thank you for my mentors, committees, and panelists for the opportunity. If there are any questions, suggestions, and critics, feel free to tell me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mbak Friska. Okay, Mr. Jonathan, would you like to give your comment?
Oh, I fell in love with the product. A very charming and handsome product. Can I buy one from you already? Yes.
Yes, you can.
Congratulations, Friska. Yes, it's a very nice product, and I really like it. I think itself that it is a relatively compact, small size, little ladder, and it can be a seat, and sometimes you can convert it into a little table. It's good enough, I think, for me to keep it for a long time. Because it's small, you can tuck away in a little corner, or you can even use it as a small side table. It's so functional in a lot of aspect. You can use it in a lot of aspect, especially when in our context when we do not have so many very tall people. You can reach for the aircon, or you can reach for the cabinet up there. Sometimes to clean the aircon, whatever, or clean the cabinet. I think I really like the thought. I think it is a fascinating product to use, to have, and to own one, and it's also very cute looking. So I only have that part of contribution. But I think maybe I put into one last thing is to tell you that the potential is not only at home.
Yeah.
So you probably would want to take this potential and then add certain design value to it to probably industrialize it also for some commercial use in the office, or for some industrial use in the factory. I think is a fascinating product. Congratulations.
because
Well done.
okay,
Well done.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Jonathan Lee. It's because I use it at home, so I just like use it for the functions at home. But furthermore, I will think about the use at office or sometimes retail. Thank you, Mr. Jonathan Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Jonathan. Ibu Naila, would you like to add?
Friska, I really like your idea of having one of the product in your house, and then you just, multiply the function to everything. This is something that everyone can do really. So we have a group of people who can reuse stuff and then redesign or do another function of that item. It's well thought. What I was only thinking is that for furniture, maybe you don't need the aluminium strip in front, because the top already is a structure. If you have a metal, below the top table, also it can be the structure, so you don't need this extra thin metal. To restrict. Yes, that's right. And if it's a night table, then also because it's quite narrow, so you don't need that much strength, also additional structure. But I'm thinking that what you're doing is that something that we can all do, and to make it like a purpose of what we have and do with something else. So ideas is something that we should, everyone in the creative business, do it. Think about not to throw, but do something else with it. So well thought. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Naila. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bu Naila. Okay, Miss Santi or Mr. Humphrey, would you like to add?
I always love that idea of repurposing something to be something else, or maybe like what I told you, the Transformers furniture, right? But I mean, like we in the market, we only have that kind of look basically for stepladder. Is there any thought maybe you can actually kind of like rethink and redesign how a stepladder should be, as in the shape? Could it be made from different material instead of having this plastic parts? Instead of so you can use basically the shape itself, it will look like what I think that I already mentioned this before yesterday about having to redesign the step ladder into something that looks, when you pull them apart, and then you put a piece of board on the top, people wouldn't think as it is as like a repurposed leather. It could be something else that people will think like, oh my gosh, it looks like a whole new different furniture. It's not a repurposed step ladder. But actually, when you put them back together, it is a step ladder. So what I was also want to share with you, because is that, can we design a day-to-day product that look beautiful and sustainable, and you can always use them your whole entire life? instead of throwing it away. So from day one, you might want to have somebody who will buy that stepladder day one when they were a student, and they will keep on carrying that stepladder as their life like changes, like when they have family, when they can actually pass on that stepladder to the next generation.
Yeah.
So I was hoping to see more development on the stepladder design, that we can rethink about just the regular ones. I mean, the whole repurposing thing is great, but I need to see more.
Yes. Okay, I think about the dismantle the leg, the leg, because the leg is the most the strong material. So I think from the leg itself, it has two sides of aluminum. So I think it can make some, perhaps just like a storage, or um, ambalan or
Yeah.
something like that. So I can redesign again if further, if I have more time and think about it.
A new
Your
shape,
suggestion.
right?
Yes.
A new
New
shape,
shape. Yes,
but
I
not just
see.
ugly ones,
Yes.
right?
Right.
New shape.
If you have a nice home, if you're going to use it as your nightstand,
Mhm.
all right, it's a very industrial looking nightstand.
Right. I mean, it's DIY. You get like
To
parts
look
from
nice
the
for
house and then you
every
just
chick
put
and
it
every dog.
together. Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, it could be a better looking product, but it's quite an interesting take. But I know where she's coming from. I mean, Friska, I mean, you have damaged how many letters now, and what do you do with it? So I think this is a
Yes.
way of solution of how to fix one
Purpose.
broken part and turn it into a new thing, just upcycling an existing products.
Yeah, well, I'm saying that maybe you can redesign a stepladder that is not, you cannot destroy. You just need that one stepladder, and you hand it down to your grandchildren, maybe.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Miss and
Thank you.
Mr. Humphrey.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Santi and Mr. Humphrey. Thank you, Mbak Friska. Okay, we are going to our next auntie, Putri Sonia Dewanti. Putri, right there?
Hello.
Okay. Can you turn on the video as well? Okay, sip.
Is the video on? Already
Yes,
on.
it's on. Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Putri Sonia, and I am a final year student of Industrial Design in Bandung. In Bandung Institute of Technology, I'm always interested in the topic of sustainability, sustainable design, seeing my field as one of the most contributing ways and the exploitation of natural resources. So I'm happy to learn how to design sustainably and responsibly. And now let me represent the result of brainstorming and designing using cradle-to-cradle method. My product called Resik, an alternative concept for house cleaning tool using natural materials. What it is actually are and where this idea came from, you can find the answer in the next slide, please. This sentence was asked to all of us when getting the first assignment after discussing sustainability and cradle to cradle with Ms. Santi and Mr. Humphrey. What is commonly used product at your house? When I first heard this sentence, the first thing that appeared in my head was what I thought was very useful function for everyone. Next, please. A broom. These are broom in my house, not too fancy, but they did a pretty good job. When thinking of brooms, I think of endless broom problems in my home. My mother and I always try hard to find the perfect broom for us. Sometimes the handle is not too strong, the brush is often dislodged, or the shape is just uncomfortable for us. And then the question popped into my head, does the broom always look like this? Or why we choose this kind of broom instead of the other types? And where will these brooms go when they are used? Next, please. And this is the types of broom available on the market, ranging from the affordable price with low quality or to expensive one with the good quality. And I tried to compare the types of brooms available in the market. The types is natural fiber. The positive point that they have is actually they made from eco-friendly materials, affordable and locally made. So it can reduce the carbon transmission. And the minus point is they hard to clean up and maintain. And the brushes after come off, and they still use plastic for the handle, like the picture from the top left. And sometimes the design is less convenient. And compared to the other one, the plastic one is easy to clean, more sturdy and flexible, and have many features and various forms because used easily from material as a plastic. But the minus is they more expensive and contribute a lot of plastic waste, of course. And next, please. This is the design concept that I made. For the life circle of the product itself, I use bamboo material for the handle that can be composed because I try to think not to use chemical or toxic surfaces or finishes, and so they can put into the composter, or you can just throw it to the soil. And then for the brush itself, I use natural fiber. Actually, I've been thinking about using bamboo fiber, but I think it's not too sturdy and it's too weak, so I choose to use the natural fiber from anau, or anau tree, or called in Indonesia is aren or sugar palm. The brushes are made by local freshmen, and if they are not used again, they can be recomposted. Next. Resik is the name of the product. Resik means clean in Japanese. And the broom, I'm sorry, I can't see. Yes. For specification, the broomsticks are, next please, I'm sorry. Yes. For the specification, the broomsticks are made of bended bamboo strip with 1 centimeter thick bamboo and 12 centimeter wide. And for the dustpan, I use bamboo veneers made from bamboo cones, flattened and then give a mixture of cassava starch and bamboo waste, such as old chopstick or unwanted pieces of bamboo that we make when we make a bamboo product, which has been made into a powder first. The method of mixing cassava starch with bamboo powder was carried out by the packaging company from Thailand, but I'm sorry I forgot to put in the slide, but the product called Pearl Royal. And I think that might be one of the solutions to make bamboo veneer that are compostable and free of harmful chemicals. And the mixture is to attach the veneers. And for the bamboo brush, it is made from anau tree fibers. The overall height of the broom set is 113 centimeter, according to the height of the Indonesian people, and for the broom only it is 90 centimeter. And the width of the dustpan is 25.5 centimeter with a height of 35.5 centimeter. Next, please. And there's a detail in the product. And for the coating itself, I found associates who use bamboo vinegar-based edible coating treatment that can be applied to processed meat product to improve products, shelf life, and food safety. So I think that can be used as well in the bamboo product. It's made by treating the sitting cells of shrimp and other crustaceans in alkaline substance. This product has a dustpan feature that can be rotated 90 degrees and has a lock system to make it sturdy. This product is a broom set consisting of dustpan and broom that can be combined when straight to safe place. With this handle joint found between the dustpan handle and the broom handle, making them sturdy and easy to lift or move. Next, please. Another feature is the brush can be removed. Maybe the picture is not too clear. The brush can be removed to facilitate maintenance. So we can easily clean the brush, and then we can change if the brush is not in a good condition. I think with the concept with a whole broom is a new one. We can also the brush broom that has a shorter life under the dustpan it can replace as needed without having to replace the whole broom with a new one. And also when stored, a broom brush can be protected because it is stored in a dustpan and hung safely. Actually, by looking at the shape after we get tired of this broom set, we can reuse the dustpan into a pot or storage for books. I don't know, maybe we can improve it into another useful product and in that we can use in the house. And then the point is actually we already have a craftsman throughout Indonesia who can produce brooms with environmentally friendly materials, but unfortunately most people still choose plastic brooms that damage the earth over traditional brooms. Perhaps the interest in the traditional brooms can be increased by making designs that are more attractive and address problems that are often felt. Maybe in my design it still need a lot of improvement, but I hope this concept can be realized someday. And next, please. That's all for me. Thank you for having me, and especially for our mentor, Ms. Santi and Mr. Humphrey. I've been very humble to share the knowledge for the past 3 days, and also thanks to our special referrer, Mr. Jonathan Lee and Mrs. Naila. I enjoyed it very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Putri. So, Mr. Jonathan?
Again, I'm mesmerized with all this design, and I really appreciate your work, Putri. Just look at this picture now. I think if you just find a way to cover up a little bit the black fiber part, then you will not think that this is a broom when you just let it sit quietly in the corner. It is a very, very well designed a product. I think from my perspective is a broom is a product that could be quite destructive over time. Why I say it's quite destructive over time is because with you, especially, we have all these young designer, and as you grow up and more electronics come into play, you tend to see those electronic running around. Nobody at home. You just set it up on the phone, and everything is being cleaned up, and a broom may not in the very long term serve its purpose. But who will complain to have a broom like that sitting quietly in the corner? It's still a good product to have somehow if you don't want to set up your electronic gadget that run around the house. But I see a point that I would want to seriously raise that your approach with the material is proper, appropriate. The bamboo veneer, the fiber, this has naturally built in very well with this product. What I see the most valuable is the local craftsmanship I'm not so sure why you skip that slide and you don't not elaborate a little bit more. And I think if it's going to be properly crafted with local craftsmanship product and adding a strong design element to this simple product where you can hide it in the corner and use it when you need to. And at the same time, it is a decorative element. I think this product will not be disrupted with all these electronic gadget that is going to come online in the future. So, like I said, I think if we were to emphasize a little bit more on the local craftsmanship, bring in Indonesian craftsmanship into this product, work a little bit more from that aspect. I would say that this is certainly something of a great potential. And if it's done well, it will not be replaced by technology. Yeah, congrats, Putri. I
Thank you.
think it's a very, very graceful product
Thank you, Mr.
for that
Jonathan.
for that application. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jonathan. Ibu Naila? would you like
Again, again, Putri, this is quite a nice item for you to study because we've been using that a lot and every time, every day. For me, it's more like aesthetically, it looks nice, really nice. You're also thinking about the ergonomics, but for me, it's more about the technical part, the joining. How do you join the parts from the broom to the stand? It cannot be from bamboos, right? It has to be another, I don't know. For sure, it's not plastic, but if you say metal, then you need another study how you want to use it, what kind of details are you going to use it. Unfortunately, we cannot see the details because I think it was a bit light, your details. How you join the fiber to your bamboo, how do you want to replace it? What kind of accessories are you going to use it? Because that's the most important thing. The bamboo is quite sturdy. It can be long lasting. The fiber after timing is you have to replace it. But this is all the small details that maybe we need to think about it, the connection, the joints, and so on. So for me, it's a nice product. It's a good looking product. Just think about it more detailed.
Thank you, Mrs. Naila.
Thank
Actually,
you.
can we go back to the previous slide? Okay, I'm sorry, the picture is like too light
Yeah.
and yeah, everyone cannot see it. Actually, I'm thinking of the joining the fiber to the broom is like the fiber itself are sewn tight with the local craftsmanship, and then it's look like what like a sheet, like a towel, and then in the bottom of the brooms, I made like I don't know what it's called. It's like the open compartment that you can open, and then you put the sewn fiber at the top of that, and then you can press it, and then the fiber will come to will go down like that. I don't
Yeah.
think it's just like in my mind, and I don't know is that possible in the future. Maybe I need to study it more.
Yeah, it's like Rubbermaid, nowadays they also do it like something that you can replace it after a while. But
Yeah.
again, that's the thing. You have to think about the details. That's the most important thing, the small details. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Mrs. Naila.
Thank you, Bu Naila. Okay, Miss Santi or Mr. Humphrey, would you like to add?
I think broom is one of my favorite things. Like personally, I collect brooms in from many different areas in Indonesia, and I've been studying them, what is it made from, and traditionally, I myself just finished designing a broom as well, made from teak. So I this is a very interesting shape because but my concern is about the mechanical parts as well, because there's a lot of like moving parts that you have to apply. This is a great idea, but you need to study more. I mean, this is a really good beginning to you can take further more to be, made. I would love to see this being made. I would love to see this being produced, or at least to see the prototype. Um, yeah, I think I'll be interested to see if you have the opportunity to develop this even further.
Yeah.
And also the material itself, bamboo. Bamboo is a natural material where the sizes. It's kind of hard to the same size. I mean the consistent sizes. So something that you have to think about: can it be made from wood that is actually from furniture manufacturer that they don't use anymore, or what other materials that you can use besides bamboo? I think there's a lot more research that you have to do. That's number two. And the shape itself, it can be slightly more ergonomic, as in like more the shape could be a little bit nicer, sweet, and more sleeker also as well. Maybe you can use other kinds of material instead of like wood or bamboo or other things. Could be something else that is environmentally friendly or eco plastic, or I don't know. Yeah, there's so many possibilities when I see this. Many homework.
Thank
So
Yeah.
many.
I mean, when we have brooms in the house, I usually tucked it away somewhere so it's flat, so I can keep it in narrow places. Since you have this object, it becomes really bulky. So I think that's one of Santi's thing is like basically if we have a broom, where can we keep it? So it's not disruptive, even though yours is a really nice product over here, nice looking product. But I think you also can take a look at like some of the brooms. We went to Maison Objet, and there's quite a lot of interesting manufacturer who does actually brushes and brooms, and they're quite interesting. It's still very very traditional in the way they assemble things, and they look for materials that's actually really really long lasting.
Mhm.
So I mean, there's a lot of other companies out there who can probably like be a source of inspiration for us in Indonesia here. We've been doing it for so many years. I'm sure we can do equal or even better like product than the one in Europe.
Yeah. What's really really interesting also, these broom manufacturers in Europe, they're the traditional ones since the beginning of the century, and they kept on like producing and improving themselves, and you can see their product from year to year, even though it's just a very simple broom made from wood. It actually evolves into something that is really relevant to now, and it's the kind of room that you don't want to stick into the closet and hide it. It's the kind of room that you want to put on the wall and
Showcase.
glorify and like worship them. Almost like that. Some of the products are really beautiful and functional at the same time. I'm a sucker for those kind of product.
She takes them to go from places to places. She flies with them.
Maybe I can learn a lot from Miss Santi about the.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
I think
Putri.
I totally agree with Angri and Santi. You should press on to consider to work further on this product.
Exactly. I would love to have this room.
Good
I
potential.
hope so.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Santi and Mr. Humphrey. Thank you, Putri. Good luck in developing the product.
Thank you.
We'll go to our next mentee, Safira Aristi. Safira.
Hi.
Okay, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Safira Risti, a strategy designer with the background of industrial design degree from Institut Teknologi Bandung. Thank you for the opportunity for me to present my design ideas today about eggshell and exploration on egg waste to egg packaging. Next. My mom opened a bakery next to my house. The bakery is a medium-sized one with 2 houses size. She once told me, I know you like to explore with waste materials, so I challenge you to make something out of eggshell because the waste is really concerning to her. In my mom's bakery, there are always minimum of 2 sacks of eggshell a day, which will go straight to the landfill. Moreover, when near public holidays like Idul Fitri, Christmas, or Idul Adha like yesterday, this waste accumulate in larger amount of size, even up to 5 sacks of eggshells a day. Next. But then I thought, why should I process this eggshell waste when eggshell is actually compostable, right? So I did some research, and it was said that in US alone, eggshell waste was generated up to 150,000 tons per year. This waste then used as fertilizer, animal feed ingredients, and other waste. But we are talking about Indonesia here, where all the waste is going straight to the landfill without any intention to be processed. The problem is many landfill in US are unwilling to take the waste because the shell and the attached membrane actually attract vermin. Landfill in Indonesia might haven't noticed about this. Eggshell does have really high nutrients, with 95% calcium carbonate, and the rest is collagen and protein. Well, now it makes sense why I should think of processing this eggshell into something valuable. Next. Here are some references that I got when I searched for eggshell product design. Bestegen made egg cups and saucer out of eggshell and egg whites. Rania Alcala made storage compartments with eggshell, nutshell, cacao shell, and polylactic acid. Alexander Lamont made high-end furniture out of eggshell from eggshell and resin, which is not really sustainable, but it's really cool. Next. So my idea here is making egg packaging from eggshells. There are packaging for eggs. The B2B trays with characteristic of stackable, made from recycled paper and disposable. The B2C one usually comes with small packages and disposable, but nowadays there are many brands with the packaging made from plastic or styrofoam to achieve that clean look. Usually customers also like to see what they are buying, so using plastic packaging does help in a way. Next. The conclusion is B2B egg trays made too much waste but actually compostable, and B2C egg packaging use too much plastic packaging nowadays and need added value. Next. Okay, so we need 2 types of packaging material here. One is the durable one for B2B, and one is compostable one with added value for B2C packaging. From the references and research that I conduct, I found 2 methods that could fit the kind of material that I want. The first one is for the egg tray using polylactic acid as binder. Polylactic acid is a thermoplastic polyester derived from renewable resources, such as starch or sugarcane. Starch is a natural binder made from staple food like potatoes, corn, rice, or cassava. This binder is biodegradable and giving the durable and strong material. This material needs high heat industrial processing to compose. Next. The next one is for the egg packaging, using albumin as binder, which is also used by Bestegen and Kosuke Araki. Albumin or egg whites is actually also considered as waste at bakeries. Albumin does have high nutritional value, and in 2015, researchers Alex Jones et al. Claimed that albumin mixed with glycerol demonstrated tremendous antibacterial property as bioplastic binder. This material is firm, but compostable if you put it in soil for a month or two. Next. Here is my design concept. I'm aiming to make this product as minimalistic as possible and giving the sleek look to elevate the value of it. The eggshell will be grounded to powder so there are no egg texture on the material, so it won't look cheap. Next. The egg tray concept is stackable, durable, and easy to carry, which are really needed for a B2B egg transfer system. Egg trays for the B2B one can apply the exchange system. Next. Okay, so what I meant by exchange system is where seller bring the trays with egg and bring back the tray without egg from the bakery or restaurant. This system will be looping continuously. Next. For the egg packaging, I add the feature to this packaging to be a media for seeding plants because of the nutritional values of the packaging. When this packaging is not used anymore, this packaging could be composed right away. I also add the feature of per piece buying, so you can buy the egg as much as you need. You can also check the quality of the egg that you are buying from the transparent part of the packaging. It was also made with eggshell, albumin, and glycerol, but with higher ratio to the albumin and glycerol. Next. Here is how the packaging works. For the per piece buying, you could just cut it at the dotted line, and after you open the packaging and you use the egg, you could use it as media for seeding plants or any other use that you like. Next. Here is the product life cycle. For the egg trays, raw material, eggshell from bakeries and restaurants, bring it to powder, egg starch, make it ourselves if possible, production, finished product, ready to use, and then biodegrade, back to industry, then compost. For the egg packaging, raw material, eggshell and egg whites from bakeries and restaurants, glycerol, grind it to powder, production, finished product used as packaging and seeding plants media, and then biodegrade with compost. Next. Lastly, no waste is a waste. There are only utilized and unutilized material with their own unique potential. That's all for my presentation today. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you, Safira. Mr. Jonathan, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I find that the concept is good with the reuse of the eggshell and eventually bring it into the egg tray packaging concept. But what really I see the value in this is that at the end of the day, if it's used alone at itself, it's a product that probably replaceable. You could have fair other alternatives. When you look at that, there could be many other forms of recyclable possibilities, maybe even ocean plastic or whatever that can be used as egg packaging material rather than directly from the eggshell. But what I see as a value here is that if you marry it with the system you mentioned just now, then I think this whole concept becomes even more viable. Is the continuously to use this year in, year out, day in, day out, and then use the exchange system between the supplier and the person who sell the egg and the person who bought the egg and then exchange it back and continue to recycle it. I think that is a much better approach to this whole product, this whole material, marrying a system to a product where you are putting it together, and that helps to enhance the value. So I would think that this is I would not approach this purely as a product, but I'm thinking that marrying this particular innovation of yours to a system that you were talking about. You can even use it to extend it not only to bakeries, restaurants, even household who come.
โอเค so
buying egg.
เดี๋ยวเรามาเริ่มกันเลยนะคะ ก็คือ first เราจะมาเริ่มจาก design ก่อนนะคะ ก็คือ design เนี่ยเราจะใช้ material ที่เป็น recyclable นะคะ แล้วก็ reuse ได้
do some reimbursement arrangement, and then you move on. So as a systemized product, this will be to me a much more viable product approach. Yeah, that's my contribution on this part.
Thank you, Mr. Jonathan.
Thank you, Mr. Jonathan. Bu Naila?
I like the idea of having these made by eggs. But again, for me, it's like for a bakery where every day you always have eggs coming in and coming out. It's a good idea if it's like, is you can use it again and again and again. So that it's like a bottle, you can use it for milk and so on. But for me, myself, if I buy eggs, I buy eggs like what, 2 cartons a week for my house, for my home. I was thinking about, can we use it by ourselves so that we don't need to always buy eggs in a box, but we can bring also our own packaging, that's not so hard case, but something soft, maybe that you can use, and then we come in, we just bring it, and then we just put soft eggs on it, and then we bring it back, because now we don't use plastic anymore to shop. So this is something that maybe you can think further, so that maybe we can use it for each home, so that when we buy eggs, we just bring it with us, and then use it daily or weekly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bu
That
Naila.
will add a great, even a bigger system, and it will be great.
Yes.
Okay, Miss Santi or Mas Humphrey?
I think I do agree with Ibu Naila's idea. And I think that's something that it came across my mind too when we were talking about having to design a container, something that you can like nowadays we're already starting like using our own bag to go grocery shopping, but when you're buying eggs, plastic, right? So this could be included into the system. Maybe people can just buy these egg containers and just buy the eggs from the farmer and just bring it home. I mean, like that's a really another idea. You can also think about how about other products? This could be designed if the material is strong enough. It could be designed to make in other containers to contain something that is fragile. It could be for fruits, yeah. It could be for, I don't know, other things that you can bring when you go grocery shopping. My concern is when I see the design for the B2B, can we go back to the B2B tray? Okay, when you stack them all together, especially, can we go to the next slide? On the picture on the left, that concerns me. All the eggs will die.
Yeah.
They will get cracked. So you need to design something that will actually the top part itself will actually create another secure environment for the eggs, so it won't get crushed. So I think you need to redesign this tray.
Yeah. I think I need to make the studs at the middle part higher
Right.
than the egg.
I mean, you can take a look at something that's traditional as done right now and just, go from there.
Yeah, and you redesign and take something that is already common out there and see what can you do better about it.
Right.
Thank you.
And also maybe the tray itself can be something with fastener, because all this time I know my mom, she buys eggs from the farmer directly, and this is what she gets also, something like this, but she still use like tali rafia, those plastic to tie them all together.
Yeah.
Because she needs to put them in the car trunk, right?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I do hope I could develop this idea further.
Redevelop even further.
Yeah.
Humphrey?
I'm done.
No, okay.
Thank you, Miss Santi, Mr.
Yeah.
Humphrey.
Thank you, Miss Santi and Mr. Humphrey. Thank you, Safira. Okay, we'll go to the only male in the mentees today. Okay, Mas Sanditya.
Yes.
Ya, oke, silakan.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sandi. I'm an interior design student from Gunadarma University, and today I would like to show you my product. Melur site, the result of a mentoring program with Museum-Macan, BWI, and all mentors from Domicilium Studio. Next. Okay, in this session, the subject is about material and sustainability, and I respond based on advice from all mentors using a tool commonly called cradle to cradle. Cradle to cradle is about saying garbage as an eternal resources and doing the right thing from the beginning. It is about making community and product development function in the same way as a healthy ecological system where all resources are used effectively and in a cyclical way, as opposed to the current linear system that can be better described as a cradle to grave system. So in this pandemic era, this is the right time for me personally as a design student for contemplation, thinking what should I do in my life, at least take a small step to repay their kindness. Next, please. So I'm a person who really like material exploration, especially bamboo. Many college assignment and competition that follow by using material bamboo. Why? Because bamboo is a material of the future and has the opportunity to be developed for human needs. Bamboo can be very sustainable crop, fast-growing grass. It is not fertilizer and self-regenerate from its own roots. It doesn't need to be replanted. But when I explore, it produces a lot of bamboo waste because I only take the bamboo in the best part, best color and shape, which is the middle of the bamboo trunk. And I will respond to this bamboo waste as my new small step and ensure that I am a person who is in favor of nature. Next. So the local context, Indonesian is recorded and has reached 268 varieties apart based data released by Pohon Saparia Mulia Purajatmika, maximum of 420 type of bamboo are received by Indonesia. But the processing is still not optimal, and I will try to provide new added value in the aspect of processing bamboo, returning the perspective of Indonesian people, especially Java, that bamboo is understood as a picture of life that should be melur or flexible, where the product will be designed as flexible as possible, as a new alternative and in processing bamboo. Next, please. So, based on the things I mentioned above, I will make a furniture product with another or new user experience with simple material exploration made manually by empowering local craftsmen by considering the values of sustainability or cradle to cradle, and I choose coiling bamboo. The skill in the manufacture of bamboo. The bamboo is rolled up sheet by sheet and shaped by hand form like a bowl. Based on research, I choose the bamboo coiling technique because this is not just a skill, but is a bamboo processing technique that is quite friendly to the environment, such as minimal use of energy that cannot be renewed and minimal production of emission in the process. Next. So, and this is my design process until the design was chosen. I provide a new experience where furniture can have two functions while having two type of user, humans and cats. This side table is made by responding to the size and solid community of cat lovers in Indonesia, where during this pandemic, many people began to care for animals and plants to maintain their mental health. This side table is very malur or flexible. For example, if we rotate the bamboo ball, can turn into a planter. And user experience also occurs with a self-assembling system at home, as well as furniture with system without additional package. With the dimension and weight, this furniture is easy to carry from the store with joints of similar materials and finishing which can be accepted by the soil. And I think which make this furniture very environmentally friendly. Next. So, and this is a simulation of making that furniture. The furniture arranged from bamboo sheet manually, one by one, into half ball section, and then combine when it's break. Then happen is not vertical, horizontal, or zigzag fraction, but radial, following the direction of the center point into bamboo sheet. And next. And this is a product life flow chart. In the technical cycle, is production and then become a product, and then use space and then return this assembly. And when the product is broken, it can be processed to be a tray, pendant, or top table. And the technical nutrients can be rolled to the production, or alternative can be back to biological cycle, use space, and then biodegradation, biological nutrients, and plants. Next. So, malur is product and process from a nutrient for something new. Just like in nature, there is no waste, only an abundance of nutrients. Focus on reinviting products so that material and process have a positive influence on human and nature. This differentiates cradle to cradle from conventional recycling and the concept of eco-efficiency. The cradle to cradle design concept is about eco-effectiveness and goes beyond conventional sustainability tools and approaches, which primarily show the negative influence of human on the environment. Next. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Mr. Jonathan, would you like to comment?
Yes, finally, I was asking just now why we don't have a male participant. So I think Humphrey and myself, we are quite lonely. So finally, we have a male participant. And I'm also very excited that Santi come out with a very alluring product. I'm a man who always worked with heritage since 25 years ago when I started with a company that goes back in 1929. So there's a lot of it always began with a lot of local craftsmanship. And then even until today, when I moved from the Italian architectural lighting company to Danish decorative lighting company to now a Danish furniture company, I've always seen a great value in local craftsmanship. So the ability to kind of integrate somehow properly presenting it together with the product and the designer, some form of integration of local craftsmanship. It always has a very good story to tell, both from the process and the journey of developing product to the designer to eventually put the product into the market. So I'm very glad that Santi was looking at exploration of some local craftsmanship. So far, he's the second person I noticed in the team who addressed that aspect. So I'm very glad. I'm very glad that Santi considered that into his product. So the thing that I would concern if we were to deliver a concept like that, marrying local craftsmanship and your design and your concept, this side table, rotatable, where you can use it with plants, or you can have it as a place where the cat can go to. I think it has to be something relatively refined. So to put design into perspective, local craftsmanship into perspective, a longer challenge, I think, is how we could eventually finish such a refined product to make it really look very delicate, the finish delicate, because it's going to be something of a necessary that's going to be sit quite near to the eye of the people. So I would want to raise this thing that you may want to look into is how could you refine this particular product from a local craftsmanship work so that when it's presented into the marketplace, this whole thing will look very delicate. Yeah. And then I think other than this particular product, I would see that if you could, definitely is a very nice applicable product in a lot of aspect. I would also love to own this particular product. I have two things that I'm worried other than just making it very refined. Is the leg that is hold onto this little ball. So you may want to look into the stability of these four little leg that join that holds this little ball. When you use it with a cat environment, this thing could be roll off, drop off. When you put some sand or soil into it for plant, the weight probably would give you some problem. And then thereafter, if you will want to continue to develop this and make it sustainable over a longer term period, using this bamboo product, which I totally agree with you, is a great selection of the material, is a challenge of how are you going to continue to develop different type of nature product of this level at this craftsmanship. And then it could be a vase, it could be a fruit basket, it could be something that is a collection of it, where you make an offering with a finished collection of it, where it will be much more attractive when you see that as a collection, not just a single product. That's my thoughts to share on your innovation.
Thank you, Mr. Jonathan.
Thank you, Mr. Jonathan. Ibu Naila?
Shandi, hi. I really like your brand, Malur, flexible. I'm going to use it. I think it's Japanese for flexible. You know that I love bamboo, and then this I don't know, 5-10 years, it's being developed to nice furniture. It's being developed to architectural, like at the Green School in Ubud. So bamboo is something that needs to be more developed. You can do a lot with them, and because of the shapes, you can do bowls, you can do things like that. Yes, your furniture is quite interesting. For the structure, I will just advise maybe to have another, not only 2 sides, but 4 sides of, so that it's more structural for the legs. But again, yes, please develop, because this material, bamboo, you know how to use it, you know how it can bend, you know also that is quite strong if needed. So please just maybe develop with more series, another series. You can also use it as accessories for pendant light, bowls, and so on. So keep on this way. Develop bamboo's furniture. Thanks, Shandy.
Thank you, Miss Naila.
Thank you, Bu Naila. Okay, Mr. Humphrey or Ms. Santi?
I think Santi is ecstatic. There is a cat house. She's a cat lady. So I really like the concept of this, the flexibility, but I think it's just more of a technical issue that we have to explore further, right? But other than that, I think previously Sandy had like a few images as well of what he thought the product could be used for. And one of them was the lighting that we thought was a bit interesting and he could develop further. But what I liked about this is that the form is actually quite modern and it's not as traditional as what I will expect to find. I mean, kudos to you for that. Just taking us away from, the traditional bamboo furniture and into something a bit more cleaner and aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. I think everyone already kind of sort of saying what I was about to say. Yes, I agree with Jonathan also about if you're designing a product, might as well just design a whole collection so it will be more, as a commercial product, it'll be more attractive that way, so people would like to buy the complementary products itself. So because at the MDO, our other sister company, when we're designing products for a company, that's how we do it. We always design a collection instead of just one thing, and it does shows like it's better to market it. Number one. Number two, about having to, your design is very modern looking, and we love that, how, because sometimes by using like traditional material doesn't mean that it has to be in a traditional shape. You can make it more appealing globally, and is actually bamboo is a very sustainable material, and even you can treat it with many other treatments to make it more, it has that antibacterial properties, to make it more stronger, and it could make it stronger to last longer. And also the flexibility of the material itself, you can do many different shapes. I would like to see more developments. And where can you buy this? Yeah. Yes, I'm pressuring you to actually produce this. I would like to see it maybe down the road if you can. I have to, yeah, it'll be good to be able to see this in the market.
Great potential. Keep it up. Yeah. Keep working on.
Yep. Thank you, Sanditya.
Thank you all for the review and advice.
Thank you, Ms. Santi and Mr. Humphrey. Thank you, Sandy. So we are looking forward to your collection.
No pressure.
Okay, we've come to our last mentee for today.
Oh, last already.
Yes, Mbak Siti Anissa Amida. Okay, Mbak Manisha, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Please. Manisha, is your, I think her connection is a bit bad.
Hello, I'm sorry.
Okay, we can hear you, we can see you. Thank you. Oh no, she freezes again.
Hello?
Yes? Are we?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna repeat the presentation. Okay, hello everyone. I'm sorry for the disturbance. Thank you so much for the opportunity for me today. And my name is Nisha. I'm actually a psychology and interior design graduate. And my motivation to join the session was because I wanted to expand my knowledge in materials and its usage. And now I'm going to present about the material that I've chosen and the products that I decided to make. So the main material that I chose was banner. There are two reasons actually. The first reason was because I have a big stack of it at home, and these banners are from event. And once the events are over, it's not used anymore. So it becomes waste. And the second reason was because it becomes my concerns as well that the banner type of plastic has become the one of the biggest contributors for plastic waste in Indonesia. So there is a survey in 2019 that stated approximately 1,192 tons of plastic waste came from banners. So I think it's pretty imperative for people to know how to manage the waste. Otherwise, just by looking at the number, it's going to be harmful for the environment and also especially for human health. Next, please. I'm going to talk about the background story of the product. I'm a teacher. I'm currently working as a teacher in an early childhood education school. So I meet with my students regularly. So from there, I get a deeper understanding about children's characters, behaviors, and developments. And that inspired me to create an educative and affordable learning material for them. Next. So this is the method of production. There is a waste management company in Citarup, West Java, that processes plastics, including plastic bottles, plastic caps, until plastic bags and any kind of plastics, and turn it into something useful. But the plastic itself has to go through three processes. The first one is shredding, and then melting, and the last one is pressing or molding to make some products that we can actually see on the screen, like furnitures or interior decorations, until paving blocks. So the color of the products is natural if the blue and green, it is because it is based on the product that it is based on the waste that we choose to process. So if it's blue, so the kind of waste is the color blue too, in order to be pressed and melt. And for the picture in the middle, it is a paving block. The company is pretty expert actually on this, on making this that are durable, because they found some kind of ingredient, plastics with some other materials and sands to make it more solid in comparison to some standard paving blocks. Next. So this is the design concept that I'm proposing. It has multiple containers, and each container consists of different materials. I'm gonna start off with the mustard box. It's on the upper right. It contained of clothespins. So basically, the function of this material is to make children develop their practical life skills through pegging exercise. And moving on to another box, the white one, it has building blocks. It will train their cognitive skills and also fine motor skills. However, on this particular box, the children can also interact and play with the partition of the container, because it has some kind of shapes on the partition, so they can actually insert the objects based on the shapes that are provided. And the third box is touch fabric materials. It provides with a broad range of fabrics with different textures, so children can actually learn about rough, soft materials, and this is basically to train their tactile abilities. And the last box consists of stationaries, like sharpener, color pencils, crayons, and the function of it is to be used for the paper pages underneath the box. And I'm sorry, it's not showing on the picture. So yeah, next. Now I'm going to talk about a little bit further about the concept. Visually, it has vibrant color theme. It suits with the children needs, and it makes them feel motivated to explore. And functionally, it is lightweight in comparison to solid wood material, and it's safer in comparison to aluminum material, of course. And children are highly stimulated only by touching the container box, because the texture is not as soft as the usual, like solid wood or other kind of material. So it could make them questioning and could evoke their curiosity. For durability, it has high endurance and good product resilience. For instance, if the product is stomped when the children are having a bad mood, or just simply slammed or slip off because they haven't fully developed their fine motor skill, it would endure because it has the same processes with the paving block that I said before, only a little bit different material. And it is water resistant. Environmentally, production process isn't harmful for environment because it produces no smoke along the process. Next. How if the product dies? It can be shredded and heated back for several times. However, starting for the secondary purpose, it should be mixed with filler materials that I stated beforehand. There are sands and also any kind of waste that are solid and fire resistant. And the amount of material particles would be reduced gradually and eventually would be vanished because of the repeated procedures. Next. And my closing statement would be plastic waste, in this case, banner type, these days are getting bigger in numbers. Thus, it ought to be balanced with the people's capacity to repurpose the waste into something useful and make it customizable so they could match it with their needs. And I think this technique gives a broad kind of choices for people to make something, to make products that can be easily applied. I guess that's the end of my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Manisha. Okay, Mr. Jonathan, we'll start with you.
Thank you so much, Siri. I totally agree with you. We have this huge problem of the plastic waste, and I felt so encouraged to see that you address that in your thought and in your design and approach to solve this problem of plastic waste. And leading to that banner being thrown away and being reused again, I think it is a very excellent idea. So and I feel very about product. Maybe I have something about children. I love children myself. So when it comes to this, using it, designing it for the children, I really find that it's a very clever use of this recycled material from plastic. So and also look upon it is that based on your explanation, I see that you have addressed one key important area, especially is the safety aspect, which especially when it involves children. So I can see that your design has rounded edges, put that into consideration, the material that is also safe for the children to use. I'm really very commendable for your thoughtfulness. Well, I've only one aspect to say in that you may want to look into a little bit deeper is that the aesthetic value for these, especially in the children environment, may not be that strong and that high. So you may want to come from a more kiddie approach in terms of the outlook for that. So I think it will be much more how should I say alluring for the kids to actually work with it, play with it. This is just the design aspect of it, but certainly the product based concept is very good. And I would think that you shouldn't limit the application purely to just teaching material for the children. I will see that there is certainly a good product extension that you can look beyond just the teaching material for the children. So continue to work on reutilizing this plastic waste, put it into clever use, and then extend this product out to just not only for children but possibly for all other applications that could come by. Thank you, CD.
Thank you, Mr. Jonathan.
Thank you, Mr. Jonathan. Ibu Naila?
Thank you for Siti. I'm missing a few slides. You said about the banners, the colors, and then suddenly it's the product. I'm missing some slides that says from the banners, how you want to do it, how you want to produce so that it can be your product. And again, as Jonathan said before, it can be colorful, and then you get all the colors, right? Because other products are also colorful. So this is a nice way just to introduce, a few slides before your product itself. The other part is, for me, is that because of your background, so you're teaching, so this is a nice way for you to use those plastics, those waste that we don't use it anymore. Kecuali di warung-warung ya, nutupin warung. So good. It's a good thinking again to use that. Yes, you can develop until not only for children but again to other markets. So please continue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu Naila. Ms. Santi or Mr. Humphrey, would you like to add?
Hi Nisa. Ya, rasanya we've been talking about this, and actually a lot of the design that you did is actually something that we as adults actually love, and we're trying to still connect it to how you will apply it to kids. I think it has a bit of a grown-up taste, rather than like, kids, unless the kid nowadays have like really grown-up taste too. But I think what Jonathan and Bu could always apply it to other purposes. I mean, I have really not much comment about like how you will purpose this for kids, but I see that you're trying to give the kids an education in terms of like the textures, shapes, and stuff like that. So that I have no comment. But I my only comment is that make it more kid appropriate, I guess, or something that kids will be really excited about it, rather than something that we adults will be more excited about.
Okay. Thank you for the input.
Okay. And Asia, yeah, I think this is overnight. There's a lot of change with the shape. It is. I agree. It is something that I would love to have this on my coffee table. Um, I would like to see more developments on like how are you going to use it for your Montessori program tools, because I see there's usually the Montessori programming tools are made from wood, something very simple, non-toxic, and I mean it could be something interesting for the kids to learn about tactical learning and all those things that you teach at Montessori. The good thing about being you is because A, you are a psychologist, B, you're also a designer. A little background, Nesha is one of my pupils when she was studying for interior design at LaSalle College, and also you are now an educator. So you are designing for yourself, or you are the end user of this product. So it should be, maybe you could develop this into something that maybe you can produce for your own pupils for your school. Like I think we mentioned before that this product can be used not only for your pupils but also like later on when the kids are growing up, this learning tools can be used by the parents for something else, right? So it will keep continuing being used in the family, and maybe when the kid already have a child, a baby, maybe it can be used for the next generation as well as a learning tool. So I can see the potential of this product being used from one generation to the other. Like I agree with Humphrey. Maybe you should develop this the shapes more into also things that the kids will be very excited about and adult to be excited about as well.
Okay.
Thank
All right. Thank you, Miss.
Very good job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Santi and Mr. Humphrey. We've come to the end of the presentations from our mentees. We actually have gone through our 3-hour duration as well. But we have amazing presentations. Due to that, maybe I'll just give one chance for questions and Q&A session from the mentees to our reviewers. Anyone would like to ask our reviewers? Also, the questions for our YouTube viewers, the question will be answered by our admin later, because we have quite a lot of questions as well. Okay, anyone would like to ask questions before we close this program? Mbak Friska.
It's not question actually. I would like to say thank you for panelists, Bu Naila, Mr. Jonathan Lee, for the opportunity from Musti Macan and mentors, for spending time for sharing their knowledge. Thank you for the program, and hopefully we can apply the knowledge and become useful for my students as well as Indonesian society. Thank you.
Thank you, Mbak Friska. Okay. If no one would like to ask any more questions, then maybe can we have closing remarks from you, Mr. Jonathan Lee? What do you think about the session so far?
I really mesmerized to see such talented group of young people, and I enjoy myself thoroughly here. Hearing them all, it is definitely a great honor to be able to see them. I'm already in my head writing down a lot of notes. I think I have about 4 or 5 pages of them, and look at how at all we could put some of these ideas not only on paper, and I will come back to Pat Charles and Santi and Humphrey to see is there something that we can do to take this further, and to make some of these hugely potential design into a reality where people can live their life with. I think that is going to be much more meaningful. I enjoyed my work so much for the past 25 years is because I always felt that I have a great chance to deliver design value, a product from great designers, which I work with many of them, and delivering them to the hands of the people, and they live with this great design. So it's a very sad thing that I'm not as talented as all of you. I'm actually an engineering trained person, and then become a commercially trained person, but I had a great chance to work with great designers, and I definitely look forward to continue working with you all. Before I part this session with you all, I want to add 2 things here. I hopefully it could help you in your journey in the future. Design, in what I see and work with a lot of designer over the past 25 years, design may not need to be something hugely complex. And a lot of times I see design that lasts a very, very long time, something really relatively simple, but very honest. Of course, it has all the fundamentals of comfort, functionality. Trying to approach some aspect of this simple yet elegant concept. It's very difficult to achieve. I think a lot of designers, great designers, are still working on that aspect. But it is the simple yet elegant product that carries with time, and we can achieve timelessness over a very, very long period of time. So somehow, it is cultivated or incultivated in the Danish culture. So you can see a lot of the Danish designer are able to build very timeless product. So that is something I like you all to put into your journey from today. Then the other aspect is sustainability is here to stay. The damage to our environment, the damage to our earth is beyond our comprehension. We are behind the curve to rescue the earth. If you were to go deeper to look at social development goals, you look at the impact that it has on our earth. So I do not see at all a situation whereby sustainability, ESG is not going to be a component of our life. It begin to be more and more a component of our life. So build a culture into your design from now. Look at sustainability holistically. When I say look at sustainability holistically, it means that you don't just look at it as a product, don't look at it as a process, but look at how you're going to prevent waste over a very long term. And build this design culture of against throwawaysm into your system. And then at the end, ask yourself, can this product be passed on to the next generation? And if yes, I think you have answered your question of sustainability. Thank you for having me here. I enjoy myself so much.
Thank you, Mr. Jonathan. It's also a great honor for us to have you as our reviewer. You've given us a lot of great insights so far within three hours. Okay, now Bu Naila, I'd like to invite you to give some remarks.
Okay. This is my third session together with Monsieur Machan and BWI. I think that today is quite interesting. Is it because, and also the presentation is quite full and interesting and really informative. Is it because you have enough time, more time? Because usually you only have like 3 days to do it. But today I think that more times mean that you can present something that's more informative and really interesting. The other part is because I'm from HDYY, which is Himpunan Desain Interior Indonesia. I just request yang background interior design, please join our association. Bisa melalui sekretariat because we are also doing a lot of this kind of webinar training, and it's a good thing to to meet in some webinars together to learn more about interior design, and then it's also nice to work together with Museum Macan and BWI for this session again. So thank you. Please join HDI. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu Naila. Now, our dear mentors, Ms. Santi and Mr. Humphrey. Your closing remarks, please, for our mentees.
It's been a very interesting 3 days mentoring you guys. We love having you. We love seeing something like this. It's a very good refreshment for our brains because you guys are the future, and we always love seeing new ideas and new energy. Please keep up the good work. And for those who love doing product design, we do have a sister company called the MDO. We're looking for new talents who can join our team so we can do product design together. We have interesting projects on the pipeline. Well, I hope you guys. I really hope like some of you guys can at least make the prototype of the products because it looks really cool, and we'd love to see that. Thank you for your hard work.
Thank you all. But I just like to add that I'm really glad that we participate in this this week for mentoring, because we did get to see a lot of very interesting things. And that's what we want to, or we expect out of this seminar, is basically challenging your mindset and how seeing like things in a different perspective. And we hope that this seminar, this practice actually takes you somewhere so you can see products just beyond their usefulness and, how to make it sustainable, how to make it long lasting, and how you can it's a lifestyle, that you keep on going and you keep embracing it throughout your life. but it needs to start somewhere, and you need to start realizing that a lifestyle that you probably will have to choose over next 10, 20, or the rest of your life, and pass it down to your children.
Yeah, I agree. So this should be a lifestyle, not only a one-time thing.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Santi and Mr. Humphrey. Now I'd like to invite Pak Charles to give a closing remarks.
Well, thanks. I would like to thank everybody. Santi, Humphrey, Gunaila. I think it's been fantastic, and I agree with Gunaila. I think the third session actually is very, very informative. I think we see a lot of potential, right? I'm very happy to actually see that. And then I think part of the objective when we set up to develop this program with Museum Macan is not only to actually do the design, but what we're going to do after, right? So we see potential in products. So I will talk to Santi and see whether we can actually help in prototyping it, right? But we also share knowledge. We want to share knowledge, and we want to actually build a community. So a few things that I hope to come up from this is that the mentees like Friska, she's been doing it twice, right? Please continue the journey together, because at the end of the day, we want to share our ideas with like-minded people, right? We want to grow the voice. We want to spread the good information and then grow the design industry in Indonesia to a more positive future. So please do look forward for the next sessions. I think the keynote is going to happen very soon on contemporary lifestyle. And then also the keynote on the material and sustainability is going to be presented by Montana. So I think it will be cool. So you guys can be there. So thanks a lot for spending your Saturday with us, and then have a good weekend, everyone.
Thank you, Pak Charles. So I would like to thank again for Mr. Jonathan for being here with us, Gunaila, Mr. Humphrey, and Ms. Santi for mentoring the mentees for 3 days plus one. Yesterday, I don't know who disturbed you, but maybe someone disturbed you yesterday. Oh, 2 person disturbed you. Okay, you know who. Okay, I would like to thank you again for our mentees, Aisyah, Annette, Mbak Friska, Putri, Mbak Yova, Safira, Mas Sandi, and Mbak Nesha. Thank you very much. It's been a great week, actually. It's nearly a whole week with you. Okay, now we are going to do a very Indonesian thing to do before we close this session, which is a photo together. Yes, Mbak Aisyah, you guessed it correct. So please turn on your video. I'm gonna take a screen capture out of it. Pak Charles, okay, yay. Mbak Safira, Mbak Yova. Mbak Yova, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, please turn on the video.
San, smile, San, a little bit.
Okay, so we'll wait for Mbak Safira because the video is not on yet. Okay, while waiting, I'm gonna take one first, then we can take another one. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, yay. Okay. Mbak Safira and Mbak Yova, can you turn on the...
Turn on my video.
Yeah.
I have.
Okay, maybe the...
Is it?
Okay. I think the connection still couldn't see it.
Okay.
Okay, but it's okay. We can Photoshop you inside. Okay, and anyway, thank you everyone again. I'd like to also thank you for Cisco also for powering this program, or else we won't have this meeting online. Okay, thank you everyone, and have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
So much.
Have a good weekend.
Have a good day.
Happy Saturday.
Thank you.
Oke. Udahan kali ya?
Matiin aja. Matiin aja.